Hey everybody, welcome back. And so this is the end of what? Day three. Okay, so we've got 5 more days left, right? Okay. Now, do you see how much that you've taken in 3 days? So understand something. Here's how we have to teach. We cannot teach like other teachers. You ever notice something? When you teach like other teachers, you don't get hardly any results. You have to be an actor. You have to be a drama king, queen. You go up with your voice, down with your voice. You have to go down through the chimney, up through the toilet, sink, in through the side window, in through the back door, because everybody has a different trigger. Everybody has a different approach. Because you all have different personalities. Do you notice that I treat you all differently? Yeah. Right. Do you notice how some I go and I take them to the cliff and then bring them back? Mm-hmm. And other ones I'm just being very gentle with so far? Mm-hmm. Okay, because everybody comes in with different belief systems. And understand something. Your spirit is God-given. Everything else is man-made. Man-manipulated, actually. Your actual personality is not God-given. So just know that, okay? Just know that. If you had a heart and you filled it yourself, you would be thankful, okay? All right? And if you could stay in the conscious moment more than 2 to 5%, like most people can only be in the conscious moment, 2 to 5%. You do know that. That's actually a study. 2 to 5%. That's why nobody gets well. That's why they stay in hell. That's why they take stronger drugs to numb out and cut off the gut-brain connection so that you don't feel the pain or the inflammation. And then eventually, just like putting a burger on a barbecue, you go and it's dehydrated in beef jerky because the inflammation, you fried the tissues out until they became scar tissue. And you're always sending fibrin in because you're always dumping adrenaline and cortisol into your body because you're in a fear state. And the fear state is turning on the gas. And understand something. How many people know that this is real science, that you cannot be in a fear state more than 3 minutes? 3 minutes and you're doing brain damage, heart damage, organ damage. You're doing arterial damage. 3 minutes. Most people will stay in it for hours, days, years, okay, decades. And your body's amazing that it can even take this stuff. So understand something. You are amazing. You have come down to a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure where everyone is a terrorist almost in your life. Yes or no? Yes. And even yourself. Now, your question earlier was, why do I hesitate? Okay, no, why do I procrastinate, you said. You are not a procrastinator. Okay? And you know what we do to our children is, we'll call ourselves procrastination, and we'll call our children lazy. Won't we? We will, because we're programmed to do that. Our children are not lazy. They are fearful just like us. They're fearful and even more fearful. Guess what? And wouldn't they be? Look at who their parents are. Seriously. So understand this. Here it is. You ready? No matter what goes on in life, this here is your best friend. If you don't want to get a 3, 2, 1, I got this love band from us, then you get an elastic band and you get a hair band. Tell you a true story. When my oldest daughter was young, I took her hairband, put it around my wrist. I knew I had to change. I never ever wanted to kill myself, but I knew I never wanted to live like this. I didn't want to live like this. I saw everybody else the way they were living, and I didn't want to live like that. And I knew I had to change it. I went through a hairband every 2 to 3 days. I made a promise to myself that I was going to snap the hairband 30 times an hour. You've never heard me say that because you'd say, well, he's a lunatic. Well, guess what? I was insane already, thank you. So I was going to try to make myself insanely happy. Is that okay? Most of you are insanely miserable, insanely stressed. Or yes or no? Yes. Okay. So I decided, why not be insanely happy and joyful? So what I did was I pulled it and I tied a little knot in it, but today we don't have that. We got the classy ones. But the reality is this, I would go through one every 2 to 3 days, guys. Unless you're wearing these out, you're not doing your homework. If you did mirror work, just go to the library and go into the Braveheart guide. If you did mirror work, you wore a slight smile and left smiles wherever you go. If you did the love band, this here is what saved me. Okay, mirror work was powerful, but this, I would go everywhere with this. This is a kiss. Okay, pretty soon it'll be illegal to kiss yourself. Okay, this is a hug. Snug as a hug, because you want it snug as a hug. Now, did you know that you only have 1 to 3 seconds? It doesn't matter if it's fearful or it's exciting. Your subconscious will not stop fear. Anybody get that? Your subconscious is built for fear. If you show any fear, it will stop whatever you're doing. So every time that something came along exciting for you, and even though you knew that it would change your life, it could even save your life, it could make your life, you got a little bit fearful. And because nobody told you that your brain is just a computer, and whatever beliefs are put in it, the prominent, dominant ones will run you for life. You have more fearful beliefs than most people in here. You don't talk about them, you hide them. You don't want to bother people. You're a very nice person. You don't want to tell people that you're shitting your pants all day long. And you're so fearful. And that's why you said, I just want to retire and sit by the lake and watch the lake just go by. Because I don't want to be bothered anymore, because life terrorizes me. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I want to hear yes. I don't want to hear
yes.
yep. There's a difference between yes and there's a difference between yep. Yep or yes?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And when I hear the yes, I want you to say yes, or I want you to go, Darrell, you're wrong. No. No. That means I'm wrong. Just say no. So was it a yes or a no?
A yes.
Then make it a yes. Why should you make it a yes? If it's a yes, why should you say yes instead of yup? Do that. Can anybody tell me? Because guess what? You are going to let your subconscious know there's a new sheriff in town. You are going to let your subconscious know there's a new sheriff in town. You want to change your life, right?
Yes.
Okay, she doesn't yet. Right? She just wants to be by the lake. Well, by the end of this course, she's going to want to change it. But the reality is, if you have, and please don't get me wrong when I say this, but if you have slugs for friends, if you have fearful friends, you're going to go right back to the way you were, unless you have a support group. Unless you're going to come and attend our free online master classes. You don't pay for them. We don't want you following us. We want you to find yourself. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's go back to this. Do you know where this came from? When you go to war, okay, nobody wants to go to war. Well, some people do. People want to go to war that are angry, and people want to go to war that want to be a hero. They've always wanted to be a hero. Real bad reason to go to war. But the reality is this. When you go to war, once you get there, you don't want to be in war until they program you. And once you're programmed, then you'll just do it. You don't think about it. Guess what? You don't think about it. You don't think about your program you're running. You don't think about the program you're running. Like, you never smile. You never smile. I would find that so hard to be around that person. But you're not angry. But you never smile. Well, I don't have anything to smile about. That's not good. Not good. Not good at all. It's very hard on a person. It's not hard on me. Well, it would be, actually. Because I have to be around people that have a great imagination and have never, ever locked their child away. Let's go back to this. So now, you go to war. What do they tell everyone that goes to war? If you find yourself thinking about your family, you stop it, because you'll get your head blown off. You can't be using your imagination. Okay, you need to be in the present moment. So as soon as you start thinking about your family, you got to. They tell you to count backwards, because guess why? Does anybody know that the subconscious can't count backwards? Only the conscious mind can count backwards. So what happens is if okay, just know this: I don't get fearful. Have you seen me a little bit of fear about anything? I never will, because guess what? I know that fear has no purpose, and the reality is, I would only need fear if I didn't love myself. Why? Because if I don't love myself, I'm going to do bad things to myself. I'm going to eat things and drink things and do things that I shouldn't do to myself. I'm going to have thoughts that actually are going to keep on dumping adrenaline and cortisol and causing anxiety, which leads to inflammation, which is depression, which I don't have. And seeing that I am not a sinner, do you believe you're a sinner?
No.
Well, guess what? You act like it. You've done a lot of judging on yourself. You know, judgment is, religion is the biggest judger of all, yes or no? And I'm not saying every religion, but then don't act like you have a religion then. So your religion is judgment. The hardest thing you do is judge yourself, yes or no?
Yes.
See how she was going to hesitate, and then she knew I was going to come and get her if she was going to hesitate on this, because you do or you don't. But your subconscious runs your whole life. Let me tell you something. You can all put your pants on in the dark. You can make love to your husband or your wife in the dark. You can actually be in the dark and you know their movement. You know where they lay in bed, and you can actually go and you can hit their lips and not their bum. You know what I mean? Like you just, after a while, we know everything. Geez, did I make coffee? God, I'm so programmed at making coffee in the morning. Yeah, it's over there. You made it already. So understand something. We know that 95 to 98% of our day, okay, is what? Is run by the subconscious. That's right. You're not in the present moment. So what if the beliefs you got from 0 to 7 were not honoring and respecting you? Well, they probably not, because your mother and father didn't honor and respect themselves. And they didn't honor and respect us. They loved us as much as they could with the beliefs that they had. Now I'm going to get to your question. You're not a procrastinator. You cannot show any hesitation. When you see something that excites you, you go 3, 2, 1, I got this, I'm enough. I got this. I got this. You just keep practicing. You know what? I can sit on when I was younger, I could sit on a bus. I could sit waiting anywhere, or in the bank, in a lineup, or just driving in the car at a stop sign, and I would do this all the time. Now, why would I do this all the time? Because I'm insane. I want to be insanely happy. Do you know, what is it that, okay, could we play a commercial long enough and strong enough on a TV show that, guess what, that said, hey, take this, your migraine will go away, but chances are you'll die. But all you know is when you get the migraine, you'll get up and you'll go to the drugstore and you'll buy something that could probably kill you. But you're looking after what? What do you want? You want instant gratification. And that's how they play on us, is instant gratification. So here's the deal, because you don't want to suffer. And the reality is this. Okay. You can be programmed to do, say, drink, or think anything. And if you don't want to take massive personal action to reprogram in there. So what happens is every time that you do something that's different, you get a little bit scared, even if it's going to be fun. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Is there a yes or a no?
Yes.
It's not a yeah. You see this? Soon as she says yeah, and understand, I'm right about this, guys. I've got 35 years of psychology. And I do. I did my first whole life coach course when I was 27 years old. I taught it. I taught everyone from oncologists, medical doctors of all sorts, chiropractors, psychologists, psychiatrists. Understand that. Everything is logical. 1 and 1 are 2, not 11. So now, think about the times in your life, everybody here, the times in your life when you were so excited about something, and guess what? You didn't move on it quick enough. Okay, you didn't cement it in, and you didn't do it. You missed the job that you could have loved. You missed the vacation. You missed the adventure. You didn't go out with the girl. You didn't go out with the boy. You just, the subconscious is not your friend, and it will be your bitter end. if you don't believe me. There's not a person that doesn't need my whole life coach course. And if you come 3 times, remember, if you guys come back the second time, you get 20% off. That should be enough to get you, because everybody's got poverty consciousness, right? And the third time, guess what? You own yourself. But the first time you come here, you will never go back to trying to kill yourself again, even though you didn't realize you were doing it. Okay, here we go. So, when something comes up that's fearful, if you don't connect to your lion heart breath and go 3, 2, 1, I got this. That's the old me. Okay? Or when you're going to drink something, eat something, do something. I love and approve of myself. Do that one and then go do it. I love and approve of myself. All you got to do is remain in the conscious mind. How many people know that the conscious mind can create a new thought, and the subconscious will never create a new thought until you do something in the conscious mind 10,000 times. Did you hear me? 10,000 times. Now, believe it or not, I have snapped this band, which has kissed myself. It's snug as a hug, okay? That I don't have to do anything. If I go to adjust the phone here, if I go to do anything, to reach for the glass, my eyes see this band. What does that mean? New sheriff in town. He's in charge. He's in control. It's one love, one law, unconditional love for himself. He will protect and respect himself. That's what that means. You see that? You've got that band on there? Well, guess what? Nothing else but that band is supposed to be on your wrist. It's in the book. Nobody reads that. You'll never see anything else on here. This should be the only thing on your hand. Nothing, anything else. I see some people, they got 3 of them on. Some people, they got boggles and band. You don't get rid of them. Okay? Totally screwed up. And she never even pulls on her band. And she might have went, okay, once. Right?
No. I was pulling on it at my lunch break, and I was hitting my beads, and it really hurt.
That's right. And guess what? And what did I say about you? You're very abusive to yourself. And so, guess what? That's what you are. You're a self-abuser. And the reality is, your subconscious has got you so ruled and schooled that you have to wear all these boggles. You got to wear the watch. You just can't have the band. And right in the book it says, and it's in bold, do not wear anything on that wrist, because this must become prominent and dominant. Don't let your subconscious try to hide this. Okay, here you go. Here you go. I don't care. Just then use something else. But guess what? You know what? And also self-haters, what do? Okay, all right. Now, so much that guess what? When I was asked if I wanted to build, okay, the most powerful nutritional health app on the planet, and it was going to, by the time I'm done, it would cost me $250,000. It took me about 24 hours, and I made the decision, and I never had the money. I'm still paying it off. In 3 months, we're gonna launch that app, and it cost me over $250,000. Do you understand?
Yes.
I never thought second about it. I just, okay, let's breathe. And I didn't stress. I just went 3, 2, 1. I got this. I'm just gonna chill out tonight, and we're gonna relax about this. And I'm gonna wake up in the morning, and I'll just know. I'm gonna let see, what people don't get is the human body is an antenna. Room. You will actually pick thoughts up from everybody in the room. So oh my God, I just had a dirty thought. I just had an evil thought. Well, it wasn't your thought. It wasn't your thought. And the reality is, to change your life, do you know how you change your life? You write down the things you want to see, and you only focus on that. People say, oh my God, so much work to do. I'm such a failure. I'm such a sinner. I feel so bad. I feel so guilty. You don't focus on any of that. That's as high as a mountain. Remember something, whatever you think about the most gets bigger, yes? If I water something, does it grow stronger and deeper?
Yes.
Well, don't water it, starve it. How do you starve it? You ignore it. You ignore a bully. You ignore a toxic, prominent, dominant thought that's been running your life forever. Let me tell you something. The human brain was not created by God Almighty. Let's just put it that way, and I'll leave your imagination go run with you. Because it's not, That 90% of it is a subconscious, just a storage shed for prominent dominant thoughts. Those prominent dominant thoughts come in between the 0 and 7. Okay, what did the Jesuits say? Okay, what did the Catholic Church say? Give me a child until they're 7 and we will own that child forever. That's basically what they said. That's the way they, if you want to translate it, because you live in a trance from 0 to 7. You have no filtering. You are the product of your parents. You are the product of your peers. That's all. So don't take it personal. And don't get all caught up in it. Look at, whether you believe this or not, try to think about this class. And if you ever come back for another class or you watch me on my videos, I'm going to change. I'm going to become more powerful in the way that unconditional love is going to be my goal. The more I repeat it, the stronger I'm going to be in it. I'm not scared what people think about unconditional love. I'm not scared what they think about me. When I tell you that you have to love yourself first and foremost. Before I was hesitant, even though I knew it was right in my soul. But now I'm never going to hesitate. Because I realize and I know that the majority of the population will never buy into self-love. And that's because you have so much guilt. Because guess what? The world makes you guilty, yes? Does the world have a justice system or do they have a judgment system? A judgment. And what do you have? A justice system for yourself or do you have a judgment system for yourself? Well, no doubt, eh? Just, we can see it. We can see it. Okay. Now, so understand, you're not a procrastinator. You just got to do this. And when you're excited, remember, excitement can turn into anxiety if the subconscious grabs it. And you've got 1 to 3 seconds. That's it. You didn't know that was a rule? That's the rule. That's why you get ruled, schooled, and fooled. Because nobody's ever going to tell you that, because guess what? Practitioners won't make their money. The medical system won't make their money. Just think how screwed up you get when you allow your subconscious to rule you, when your parents who loved you the best they could couldn't love themselves, couldn't feed themselves properly, less love you and feed you. And then guess what? And then you started acting like your parents, right? When you started to walk and talk, who would you act like? The guy next door? No, you'd act like them, right? So they didn't know that you were acting like them, but they spanked you, didn't they? They punished you, didn't they? Yes. See, do you see how long you hesitated? Because you want to protect your parents. I didn't say your parents were bad. I said your parents were unconscious because they're living in their subconscious mind and they didn't know they were ruled. Look at, you can go into 100 different homes and you can do the same thing and you're going to have a different punishment in every house. You can go to the same, I know this because I've been at this for 40 years. You can go to the same 20 Jewish people or Catholic people homes, and guess what? They all have a different religion, even though they all practice the same religion, because they all have different beliefs. They're not all the same. So who's right and who's wrong? Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. But who's happy? Who's joyful? Who's abundant on all levels? Who's abundant with their happiness? Do you have a lot of smiles to spread around? No. You hold back on your smiles. I'm not giving anybody a smile unless they deserve it. But see, you don't think that. But your subconscious works that way. You're not getting a smile, okay, until you do something nice for me. Whereas, what if we were to smile at everyone? They don't have to do anything nice. We're just going to leave smiles. So see, everybody's got their personality traits. My yes, everybody, does she work like that here? Yes. Everybody's got their traits here. Until you wanted to change, okay? If you really wanted to change, you'd have to take this course 3 times. So don't take my course. Go find another course that's better than mine, but do it 3 times. Because guess what? The drugs get you to buy the alcohol. How do they get you to buy the CBD and the THC? How do they get you to buy all this crap? How do they get you to fill your house up with 90% cancer-causing foods? How do they get to do that? They do it through repetition. Okay? Repetition, repetition, repetition. Because you live in your subconscious 98 to 95% of the day. I don't. And even if I did, guess what? you want to know something that's truthful? What if I had only prominent dominant thoughts that were totally loving and caring for me? That means even if I'm unconscious about my subconscious, if I don't have a prominent dominant thought that says go drink alcohol, go smoke cigarettes, go do vaping, go eat 20 donuts, okay, all right, come home angry and the first kid that does something, they're getting it, or my wife is going to get it because guess what? She'll never tell anyone. Do you understand? So you weren't procrastinating, but you better not be hesitating because you've got only 1 to 3 seconds to go 3, 2, 1, or just no. No, I'm not doing it. I'm staying in the present moment and I'm gonna own it. I'm staying in the present moment and I'm gonna own it. And you're also going to do the deeper breathing because when you are breathing 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out and have a slight smile, you can't be in your subconscious. And guess what? I'll prove it to you. Think about the worst thing that ever happened to you. Put a slight smile on right now and breathe 6 seconds in and 7 seconds out. And guess what? It doesn't even stay. It has no validity. Go ahead. Think about it. Close your eyes. Put a slight smile on. Do a 6 seconds, 6 seconds out and 7 seconds in. The worst thing that ever happened to you. The worst. You're not smiling. Of course you're not. You don't know how. Yeah. That is unbelievable. 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 See, I'm right. You need to understand something. You need to put smile up all around the house. Do you know what kind of love relationship you'll have with your new husband? It will totally change. It'll totally change. Do you like when people are happy around you or really serious?
Both. That's how you vote.
Yeah, I guess so. No, you can't have both. You can't have both. Wow, somebody told you a million times, you know, get serious with your life or you won't have a life. Isn't that great? They poo-pooed on you. It's a good thing you're a very strong woman or you'd be broken in pieces already. And that's the truth. But understand something. You know, is this a serious conversation? But guess what? Guess who has fun when they're doing a serious conversation? Who? Me or you? You don't have any fun. So here's the deal. We don't procrastinate, we hesitate. And if your subconscious does not say, I know what this is, you need to understand something. I can give somebody a poison, or I could give them the potion that will cure them. And guess what? If it's too off of the belief system that they have already, they're not going for it. My God, think about this, guys. People, look at 86% of the population to 92%, depending where you go in the United States, has an autoimmune disease. Not one, but 3. Okay? We know that 60% of the population will have heart disease. Think about that. Okay, but wait a minute. 50% of the population will have stage 2, 3, or 4 cancer, which is stage 2, 3, or 4 inflammation. We know right now that 86% of the United States population is pre-diabetic. Okay? All right. We also know that if you went and took a look at a picture back in 1970s, you didn't see one person overweight on the beach. Now, okay, you might see a few people that are their right weight. So understand something, right? Look at this. The world is changing, and because, look at the kids that are growing up right now. All they see mainly is obese people, overweight and obese people. Now, they don't see overweight and obese people because the person was sexually, physically, or emotionally beaten as a child. They don't see the person that the fat is actually being created to store the inflammation and the infection. And if they weren't fat, they'd be dead already. The fat is saving their life. Just like, believe it or not, cancer is saving your life. When you've got worms, they're saving your life. You have to bring up your vibration and detoxify before the worms leave. They'll just leave on their own if you brought your vibration up. The tumor would leave on its own. The cancer would leave on its own. All of these things that we call diseases are just symptoms of being out of harmony with ourselves. You're out of harmony, you're out of alignment, right? So, did you wanted men to stay away from you because there was too many abusive men in your life? Or did you gain all this weight because you needed a bumper?
Protection from men relationships.
Yeah, so protection from men and relationships. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there was a time when you needed to be protected. But now, let's let go of the protection. So let's not lose the weight. Let's lose the waste. The waste is the toxic thoughts that all men are evil, that men are bad, and that if you get slim and sexy, they're going to prey on you. Now, believe it or not, I don't know if I should get into this. This is where I get rocks thrown at me. Oh boy, I'm leaving that one alone. Okay, we'll go into that another time. So, that's the deal. So, right now, let go of the illusion that you're going, that if you look pretty, if you're in good shape, that they're coming for you. Do you see? Because you're still living with it. Right. I just want to be left alone. Really? You don't want to be loved? You don't want to have adventure? You don't want to have romance? None of that? You just want to sit at the lake and watch the water go by?
Well, you put it that way, it sounds pretty boring.
Well, did I try to make it boring?
That's what you said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah.
So I need you to understand this. I need you to understand that you're thinking, okay, from defense. He's not here anymore. Is he in the room?
No.
Is he in your life?
No.
Okay, then why don't you go and get a new life? That means that you would need to get a new personality. Or else you're not going to get the new reality. Would you like to lose 60, 70 pounds?
Yes.
Would you like to get toned?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to walk around with a smile on your face? And would you like to say, wow, my life has purpose? I just don't want to sit at the water?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then let's do it.
Okay.
So remember this. Get the watch off that hand. Get the other band off. 2 bands is going to make it twice as fast. It's a distraction. And you know what? Nobody knows this. But guess what? The people that wear 2 bands, the people that wear 4 bands, the people that have all the boggles, I just said it. Okay? That's called a monkey mind. That's a monkey mind. Jumping from branch to branch. Okay, you need to go watch Milk the Monkey. It's about jumping and being programmed. That's it. And being fearful. So what do you fear still?
Finances.
The reality is this. If you got healthier, are you taking the non-surgical course?
Not this time.
Okay, all right. Then guess what? Why don't you do this? Get on the perfect day and then do the 6-day advanced water fast every 6 weeks. And guess what? You want to know something? In 6 months, you'll be a lean, keen machine. You'll have your energy back, you'll have your muscle tone back, and you'll be rocking it. And that's the truth. Let me tell you something. Mm-hmm. When you've got 60 pounds, 70 pounds overweight, mm-hmm. okay, and how old are you?
67.
So you're 67 with 70 pounds, and that 70 pounds, you do know that that's infection and inflammation to protect you so that you might wake up and let go of the armor and stop poisoning yourself. Like, what do your cupboards and fridge look like? Don't tell me good.
Above average. I've been purging.
No, they're not above average. So the thing is above average for me is not above average for her. Right? And the people she knows that are killing themselves just like her. So she's a little bit better. You can't get a little better. Remember something, guys. If you were going to school, if you did 10% more than everybody in the class, you look like a genius. But in your condition right now, you have to become a genius at this. That means that you have to unconditionally love yourself. Do you think you can pull that off?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So remember something, there's no such thing as procrastination, it's hesitation. And if you hesitate for more than 1 to 3 seconds, it jumps into your subconscious and it doesn't allow you to have something beautiful. You know what? the subconscious mind was built for fear. And who built it for fear? Your parents and all the systems out there. Remember something, your subconscious mind is only a computer. The programs that are dominant and prominent in that mind, I don't know why this is doing that. The programs that are prominent and dominant in your mind, okay, they run your life. And they run your whole life. Wouldn't it be great if I could just go in there and get rid of the programs and put a new program in right now? And you could run a new program. But guess what? That's why I'm telling you, the spirit is God-given, but the brain is not. Because nobody would pull a dirty trick on us like that. But if you want to work long enough and strong enough, and you can get every prominent dominant belief to be total, vital, healthy, unconditional love and care for yourself, it's over. Nobody's going to talk you into doing anything, because if you totally love yourself tonight, and if you say, come on, I love to drink rye, let's drink until we're drunk. You know, I mean, if I needed love, right, I would maybe do it, wouldn't I? I'd compromise because I can't live without it, but I don't need contaminated love. I'm going to love myself unconditionally so that I don't compromise myself. I'm going to hang around with people that are high vibrational and are challenging me to grow. Do you understand? So you have to change your friends now. You'd have to change your friends, because the friends that you have are all on their way out. Oh yeah, they are. Oh no, I was waiting for her to go, no, you're wrong. I hang around with athletes and people that garden and do juicing and fasting. No, that's not true. You hang around with people that are eating themselves to death. That's what you do. And people that are drugged out. Yeah, what a party, eh? Okay, it's not. Everybody goes to bed early and goes to bed in pain, and then they wake up the next morning stiff and going another day. And that is 99.9% of the population. And that's what's going to happen. It's not going to change. But you have a choice that if you want to change. But guess what? It's so difficult because you have to break away from the herd. And what happens when you break away from the herd? They're going to attack you. So no, you're not a procrastinator, but you cannot be a hesitator. Okay, so that means the more loving and caring beliefs that I have, I can't be swayed. And the longer and the stronger I've been doing it, the roots go deeper, don't they? Okay, tell me something. Anything that you ever got good at, did you have to repeat it over and over and over and over and over again? Well, how about loving yourself? How about repeating that enough that you can do it in your sleep? That would mean you'll never have a nightmare again. I never have nightmares. I fall asleep as soon as I get to bed. And guess what? I don't go, if I go to bed, last night I went to bed at 12:30. I got up at 5:30. I didn't go to bed going, oh my God, only 5 hours sleep. No, I go to bed going, I'm more than this. I'm more than this. Do I look like I'm tired? No. When I leave here, I'm going to go home and swim for an hour. And then I'm going to do some work on the new Perfect Day Guide. So, you know, that's it. So the reality is this. My belief systems allow me to have abundant energy. Yours are sucking the living crap out of you. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Now, so what are we going to do when we go to look for a partner and hang around with people? We're going to hang around with people that actually support our beliefs. So that means if you're an alcoholic, you're going to look for them. If you're a smoker, you're going to look for smokers. If you're a midnight toker, you're going to look for that. If you're in a bar, no. You'll look for people that you can abuse. Sorry about that. I take that back. So abusers look for people they can abuse. So they look for victims, right? Okay, and they look for victims that believe that if they don't get abused or they don't have a certain amount of suffering, they're not alive. Welcome to the world. So, what do you think? Is there any questions?
No, at this point, I just need to get to work.
You need to get to loving. You need to get to loving yourself, not work. We don't work anymore. We find our passion and purpose, and we let ourselves off the hook, and we love ourselves. I don't care what you've done in the past, okay? Because if you actually believe that which created everything has even given you a second thought, it never even got gas, okay? Jeepers creepers. You know what? You are beautiful. You have done your best. Every one of you have always done your best. And if anybody calls you a sinner, walk away. You're a bloody winner. You are not a sinner. You've always done your best. Think about this. If I said to you, have you always done your best? Yeah, but it wasn't good enough. Yes, it was. It was as good as the prominent, dominant beliefs that the system gave you. When you decide to invest in yourself and take massive personal action, that's the only time that you are going to have the life that you want. You are not going to get it from Trump. You're not going to get it from, there's no savior coming. You're not going to get it from anyone but yourself. And that is it. You're not going to get it from your husband, your wife, your children. You know what? What do? They fill your heart up, right? What happens when they're not there to fill you up your heart? Now you've got a broken heart. What happens when, I can remember when I was younger and my girlfriends or even my wife, if she was on her period, she wouldn't be feeling good. I'd go, what did I do? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong now? What did I do? What did I do? And that's because we came into the relationship, I'll fill your heart, you fill mine. And then when she doesn't fill up my heart, I've got an empty heart. So then you make each other responsible, and that's why after 1 year, the honeymoon's over. And now it's like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. You're not the guy I thought I wanted. Well, of course not, because you got to learn how to love yourself first and foremost. You come down here as spirit beings, which is beyond love. Then you infuse into the womb, which is usually like a tomb. But the reality is guess what? You're Braveheart heroes, okay? And then you come out, and then gradually what happened? First of all, you're unconditional love, aren't you? You could poop on your parents, spit on your parents, scream, holler, keep them up all night. Do that when you're walking and talking. When you just start to be a toddler, you'll get spanked and put to bed. So now we're confused. We had unconditional love, now we don't have it. And then by the time you're what? 12, 13, you're looking for a new family, aren't you? I love my friends more than you. Leave me alone, right? Because guess what? Parents are liars. Because they don't have unconditional love for themselves, so they can't give it to the kids. When I learned how to have unconditional love for my kids, I never had a fight with them. Even though they want to fight with me, I wouldn't fight with them. It wasn't about judgment anymore. It wasn't about punishment anymore. It was about observing and then sitting down and talking about it. Well, are you going to do more drugs like that? Are you going to steal from me? Are you going to wreck my cars? What are you going to do? I just want to know here. And why are you doing it? Why are you so angry at me? Why do you feel you have to steal from me? Why do you feel you have to be this way? Can't do the punishment thing. That's what they want. That's what the government wants. That's what the government inside the government wants. That's what these psychos want. As long as they can keep you fighting with yourself, fighting with your family, okay, and creating wars all over the place, you know? You got to understand this last war is just for the bankers, okay? That's all. It's just a banking thing. So bank on yourself. Don't bank on anything else. Bank on yourself. Invest in yourself. You know? Oh my God. Bitcoin. Jump into Bitcoin. Jump into this. Jump into that. You know, I put all my money back into this. Yeah. It almost cost us 200 grand to make a library that we gave free to everybody on Doc of Detox. You know that? Almost $200,000 in there. And I'm going to tell you something. Find your passion, find your purpose, gift the world. Find your passion, find your purpose, gift the world. But you're not going to do it unless you do this. You know what? All of you, nobody's even done that since I've been here. And guess what? You haven't noticed it? And when I'm talking, you'll see, when I want to make a point to myself and really put it in, I do this. You see me all the time, don't you? That's right. I haven't seen anybody else do that the whole time you've been here. You're just wearing it. Well, and there's nothing wrong with that, just wearing it. But that's why you got to have a reminder, right? Love band. Yes. Okay? Are you with me? Did I answer your question about changing your life or no?
More or less. I mean, I was thinking about a blueprint.
You want a blueprint. A blueprint. Well, first of all, the first blueprint is smiling. You can see how long he smiles. Okay, let's time it. And guess what? You want to know something? Most people will smile for 3 minutes and their cheeks will be sore because they've never used the muscles. And that's why she can't smile, because she never uses smiling muscles. And I know I keep coming back, but it's the best example. And so that's why you don't smile, is because you don't practice it. It's like, I want you to lift a 200 pounds worth here. Well, I can't. I've never lifted weights before. It's true. Hey, I want you to love yourself. What the heck is that? Oh, I love myself. Look how pretty I look. No, that's nothing to do with it. Oh, look at how my hair looks. No, you're doing that so that you can get everybody else to love you. You'll know when you love yourself. You'll know when you love yourself because nobody has to show up anymore. Nobody has to fill you up like a gas tank. You'll be tank full all the time. Okay? Look at. Honestly, let's do this. Think about all the people in your family and how you make them responsible for loving you. What if you made nobody responsible for loving you? Do you think you might bring the stress down a little bit? Whether it's your kids, your partner, your friends? What do you think? Well, let's not think. I know, let's not think.
Yes.
Okay, well, we don't do that anymore either. Nobody thinks hardly anymore. Does anybody think anymore? It's difficult to think if you're going to get stressed out. You can't be stressed out and think. You know, every time you were ever really stressed out, you broke something. You broke a relationship. You broke a plate. Okay? You broke a bone. You broke stuff. And then you got to clean the mess up. And then you feel guilty about it, don't you? All right? Just learn how to breathe. 3, 2, 1, I got this. The next time you're ready to react and attack someone, 3, 2, 1, I got this. Just breathe in 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 3 times, and I guarantee you, you will not attack anyone. You will not attack anyone. And remember something, guys. Remember we talked about earlier today? Okay? Remember what you said? Your partner, he's a strategist. He gets you to blow up, and he never blows up. Well, that's how he makes you look insane, and you are the one that is the troublemaker and the one that needs. You don't. He's a terrible manipulator. Okay? He's a user and abuser. Okay? And that's because he has no confidence. He has no confidence, so he has to be a bully. And I'm not trying to tear him down. He got his belief systems from somewhere, and now that's what he is. You got your belief systems because you married a bully. You married a manipulator. And that's because what? Because your dad was probably one. Was he?
Yeah, not as bad.
He wasn't as bad. Well, no. Yeah, I know. You just
want a little more.
Yeah, because you want to go all the way. Okay, so understand something.
100%er.
Perfectionist.
Yes. Yes. But I
I
love
think
my dad.
it's really important that you wake up. It's really important that you wake up now. Because the roots go deeper, right? Remember something, there are no diseases, there's just symptoms. And then these symptoms just get worse. And then the medical system wants to brand them so they can sell the drugs. Once you get the drugs, then it turns off the gut-brain connection, which is your large intestine and your brain, because your good bacteria are the most intelligent part of a human, and they talk to your brain. So once you take drugs, you shut down your bacteria, so now you lose that gut-brain connection. So now what happens, you're not getting messaging here, so you don't think you're in pain, you don't think you're inflamed, but you're swelling up. You're swelling up, and you're getting more stiff, but you don't feel the pain, do you? So guess what? Let's numb out the pain, and then after a while, because you have more inflammation in there, it never goes away, but you don't have the pain. Now it's beef jerky. Now they cut your hip out. Now you rotted out your peritoneum, and now you've got an inguinal hernia, okay? Or you're spewing up hydrochloric acid, and now you've got a hiatal hernia because you couldn't let go. And when you can't let go on an emotional level, you can't let go on a physical level, and you use your diaphragm to try to get the turds out, but because you're so dehydrated, because you don't water yourself enough, okay? So now you push that down, and your stomach valve pops up above your diaphragm, okay? And now you're spewing acid into your heart, into your lungs, and you're going to get some form of cancer or heart disease. And everything starts off with issues in the mind first, that become issues in the tissues, and junk in your joints. So, did I answer your question?
Yes, you did.
Pretty thoroughly? So what are you going to do different or nothing? You just wanted the answer, and now you're just going to go along the same way?
No, it gives me me a path to.
Well, what's your path? What's your
What
plan
can
of
you-
action?
I'm gonna be using my band here to keep myself.
And are you going to go home and do the Braveheart Oath tonight? Go to the library. Go into the library, look at the Braveheart Emotional, open up the guide in the library,
Okay.
and do the Braveheart Oath 10 times before you sleep.
I did
And
it
then,
last night.
and then, and how did it make you feel?
Made me feel great.
It made you feel great, right?
Yeah.
It made you feel like you were being loved, right?
Yes.
Okay, so understand something. Why wait? Fall in love now. Fall in love at every moment. I'm telling you, here's the deal, and you better get this. If we were in the present moment, even just 15% of the day, we could take. That's why I say the subconscious was not made by. So just keep working it. Use the love band. Use your smile. It's your greatest weapon. Okay? Do the mirror work. And just keep going. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I will be doing else, won't we? And we'll be on, and I'll get this fixed. Facebook. I don't know why it keeps going on and off, but I'll take care of that. Everybody, thank you for joining me. Just try to smile. Put a slight smile on for the rest of the day. And really go look up the Braveheart Oath in the library. Say it 10 times in the morning and 10 times at night. And every time you go to the bathroom, what are you going to do? Before you leave the bathroom, you're going to look in the mirror and go, I love you. I'll protect you. I will respect you before anyone else or anything else. So help me God. Have a beautiful day.